Hello and welcome to Miss Yusuf's English class. We are going to study the poem Funeral Blues by W.H. Auden. Some background notes on the poet. W.H. Auden was born in York in the United Kingdom. At Oxford, he became associated with a number of radical poets and authors who influenced his works. Many of his poems focus on social ills as well as concern with the workings of the mind. He lived and worked for many years in the United States of America and returned to the United Kingdom in 1972, where he died a year later. Let's read Funeral Blues. Stop all the clocks. Cut off the telephone. Prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone. Silence the pianos and with muffled drum, bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. Let aeroplanes circle, moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message, he is dead. Put crepe bows around the white necks of the public doves, let the traffic policemen wear black cotton gloves. He was my north, my south, my east, my west. My working week and my Sunday rest, my noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever. I was wrong. The stars are not wanted now. Put out every one. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pour away the oceans and sweep up the wood. For nothing now can ever come to any good. Okay, so the setting of the poem, to go into the poem, you're obviously going to have this image of death. Someone has died and a funeral is taking place. But more than that is a resonating emotion through the poem, and it reflects the emotions felt by the speaker. And you're going to find that throughout the poem, these emotions, these feelings, this tone is going to shift as the poem progresses. And the overall theme, the overall image is death and grief and loss. Right, let's go section by section. Stop all the clocks, cut off the telephone, prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone, silence the pianos and with muffled drum, bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. Right, so you have a the starting of the line, stop, prevent, silence, bring. And they are imperatives. They are commands. The speaker opens the poem with a very commanding tone. Stop the clock. Stop time. Cut off the telephone. Stop people talking. Prevent the dog from making a noise. Stop the music on the piano. Bring out the coffin. Right? It's spoken in an almost aggressive tone, but not aggressive to be violent. Aggressive out of desperation. Okay, in the fourth line here, we get, of course, the reason for these imperatives, the reason for these demands. He wants all things as usual, as normal, to stop. Time to stop. Communication to stop. Even animals to stop. Even music to stop. Why? Because someone has died. And he wants all of these everyday living activities to come to a halt because of the way he feels. Life as he knows it has come to a stop. Okay? And he wants everyone else to share in that feeling, in that silence, in that loss, in that grief. Okay? And the first four lines, they begin with these commands, and you could almost say that the speaker is being very childish, very petulant. He's making these demands knowing that they are impossible. But again, you can't blame him because it comes from a place of emotion. It comes from a place of desperation. It comes from a place of pain. And so, of course, you can't stop time. Of course, you can't stop all communication just because you are going through pain or grief. But the speaker is just saying, I wish all of these things would stop. Okay? And you're going to find, listener, that the first four lines and his demands, they're explained later on. Why he wants that and how he wants that and for what purpose he wants all these things to happen. Okay, so bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. So he says, let the funeral begin. Let aeroplanes circle, moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message, he is dead. Right, you've got here, he's saying, even the aeroplanes in the sky, let them circle and let them scribble a message in the sky, he is dead. Now, he is dead can be interpreted in two ways, right? He is dead. They're in capital letters, of course, showing the importance of the departed to the speaker, but also to show that the significance must not be lost of this death. But there's no proper name, a proper noun here. The speaker is not giving his deceased, his beloved, a name. This could be for one of two reasons. First, it could be assumed that the speaker, when everyone looks up and sees he is dead scribbled on the sky, they will automatically know and understand who it is that is being spoken about. Okay, which is not practical, but again, coming back to those first four lines, the speaker is not in a very practical mood right now. He's in a desperate mood. He's in a pained mood. He's in a very, very grief-stricken state. And so his reason, you could say, is suspended. So the one assumption, the one interpretation could be that the speaker almost thinks that he is a universally acknowledged person, and so anyone who looks up at the sky will say, oh yes, that person is dead, we know who they are. But again, this is impractical. This could be one interpretation. The second interpretation is that although the speaker wants there to be a widespread mourning and a widespread acknowledgement of the death, there is a degree of privacy that he is enjoying here by not putting the name of the person that has died in the sky. So while the speaker does want life as normal to come to a halt, life as normal to come to a pause, he is trying to hold on to some degree of privacy, some degree of intimacy by not exposing, by not declaring the name of the person who is dead, so that this grief then becomes very personalized, very internalized. So only he will understand and appreciate the profound loss and the profound death that he is having to experience. Right, put crepe bows around the white necks of the public doves. Again, this is not something that's practical. Right, so the speaker wants symbols and icons and images of mourning and death to be shown in every possible way and on every possible platform. And he's saying, put the crepe bows around the doves so that everyone could remember that we are in mourning. Again, linking in with the first four lines, this is not a very practical, not a very probable, not a very possible option for somebody who's not a public figure. Let the traffic policeman wear black cotton gloves. Again, black gloves are worn, or black armbands are worn, or a black hat is worn when somebody of social significance or political significance or historical significance has died. It is a respect, it is an acknowledgement given to someone who is in a public figure, who is in the public eye, who has made some sort of contribution to society or the community or the nation. And this is reserved for dignitaries. Right? So the speaker here is saying, let them, even the policemen, wear the black cotton gloves to show their mourning. Again, it's not practical, it's not probable, because the person who has died is not a public figure, not a personality in any way, not a dignitary in any way. And so he's saying, to me, he was important. To me, he was significant. To me, this beloved was everything. But not everyone shares the sentiment. Right, so we have a change of tone here now, from going from that very commanding tone, very demanding, very almost aggressive, but again, aggressive not in a violent way, aggressive in a desperate, pained way. We go now to a slightly subdued, surrender or defeated tone. Okay, here the speaker is giving us a glimpse of why it is that he's in so much of pain. Death is one thing, but the aftermath, the loss, the grief, the pain, the hole that can never be filled, here the speaker is describing to us just how big that hole is to him. He was my north, my south, my east, my west. So here you've got the four cardinal points, okay, of a compass showing direction, showing showing an all-encompassing significance. So the speaker is saying, my beloved, the one who has died, was my north and my south and my east and my west. He was everywhere to me. He was everything to me. Now that I don't have a north face or a south face or an east face or a west face, I have no direction. Okay, so now you can start to understand the grief that he's feeling, because he would be completely lost without his beloved. So you could almost, you can empathize with his tone at the beginning. It came across as being very almost arrogant, where he wanted everything to stop, every life to come to a standstill and everyone to stop living. But you could see that the pain is very personal. The pain is very intimate. The pain is very, very, very profound to the speaker. Right? And he's lost his beloved, who was his direction. My working week and my Sunday rest. So the speaker, again, he's talking about time. All of my days, all of my hours, whether I was busy during the week, whether I was resting on a Sunday, all of my time was spent with my beloved. Okay? Earlier he said he wants time to stop all the clocks. Right? Why? Because he used to spend time with his beloved. Now that his beloved is dead, the beloved who used to be his working week and his Sunday rest has died, there is no need for time. Right, my noon, my midnight. Okay, he was my middle of the day and he was my middle of the night. Right? Again, the stopping of time. Daytime will have no beauty, nighttime will have no beauty. Why? Because the one with whom I spent it with has died. My talk and my song. So my conversation, my complaining, my sharing, my communication, my music, my happy expression, my talk and my song, the one with whom I shared them with has now died. Again, so earlier you had cut off the telephone, right? He wants communication to stop. Why? Here you have the explanation. The one with whom I would speak has died. So cut off the telephone. Right? My song, when I am happy and I am expressing that joy musically, okay, the person with whom, or the cause of my joy is gone. The person who creates the harmony, the person who gives my song meaning has died. And remember earlier he said, shut off the piano, right? Stop the piano from playing. Why? Because there's no need for music. My song is gone. I thought that love would last forever. I was wrong. Right. So the speaker obviously was in a committed relationship with his beloved, and he planned to have a life that would last forever, a love that would last forever with his beloved. But of course now the beloved has died and forever is over. Right? And he says I was wrong, but don't mistake I was wrong to be spoken in a wistful or in an angry way, or in a regretful way, right? The only regret he has is that it has ended. But he will not have a regret that it happened at all. So when he says I was wrong, it's spoken in a defeated, in a very pained tone, not at all to say that I made a mistake and I wish that I could take it back. Okay, this was a forever love, except that now it's over because of something, the only thing that can stop love, and that's death. Okay. The stars are not wanted now, put out everyone. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pour away the ocean and sweep up the wood. Right? So here you have an extended metaphor, or a sustained metaphor. Right? You've got 3 lines that make up one continuous metaphor. And the reason I think this is a metaphor, a sustained metaphor, is because it gives me the image of a play. Right? And you have various props on a stage where a play is being performed. So the stars are there to show nighttime, and the moon is there to show nighttime, and the sun is there to show daytime, and the oceans and the wood and the trees and the forests are there to represent what they represent in nature or in real life. And so here to me, it's like the speaker is saying that the play of life has ended. Right? The curtains are going to come down because the main actor, the main character has died. So he says that the stars are not wanted now. We don't need the stars. So you can put them all out. Put the moon away. Break up the sun into tiny pieces and put them away. Pour away the ocean and sweep away the forest, all of the rivers, all of the seas. Put them away. We don't need them. right? Again, very similar to the commands in the first 4 lines. It is not possible to do these things. But remember, we are not going through the grief that the speaker is going through. So when he says that my daylight, my noon is dead, that's why he doesn't want the sun. When he says he was my midnight, now pack up the moon. I don't need the moon anymore because my midnight is gone. Right? Pour away the ocean and sweep up the wood. Again, a very impractical request. But he's saying that the show is over. Nature doesn't hold any significance. Life doesn't hold any beauty anymore. Okay, coming back to the word stars as well. Earlier he said he was my north, my east, my west, and my south. My north, my east, my south, my west, my east. The stars, again, they could signify many things. They could signify just general beauty, right? Also symbolizing the nighttime, which the speaker already told us that he spent his nights with his beloved. But stars are also used by seafarers for direction. The speaker had already told us that his beloved was his north and south and east and west. And now the stars are not needed anymore because I have no direction. I can't appreciate the beauty of the stars on a dark night when the stars are the only things that are twinkling. My direction is gone. My perception of beauty is gone. Okay? Because he has died. Right? Pour away the ocean, sweep up the wood. For nothing now can ever come to any good. Right? The last 2 lines are spoken with an incredibly defeated tone. The speaker has said, my forever is over. I thought this was going to be forever. Nothing now will ever be good. Nothing now will ever be beautiful. Nothing now will ever have any meaning. I am lost. I have no direction because my north, my south, my east, and my west is dead. I will have nothing to do during the week, the working week. I will have nothing to do on a Sunday rest day. I would have nothing to do when I'm looking at the stars, when I'm at the beach, when I am enjoying a summer's day. There is no beauty to it, right? And so this line is spoken very, very brokenheartedly and with much defeat and pain. The speaker has no optimism for his future. He's got no positive outlook for his life now, because the one who gave his life meaning, the one to whom he dedicated his life, has now died. Okay, a very emotional poem, and I think only someone who has actually experienced this degree of grief and loss and pain can understand it. And it's easy to sympathize with someone and say that we can understand how they feel, but each love is so unique, and each love has its own personal meaning and significance and depth to each person. And so the speaker is devastated, and we can see the pain in the words that he uses to describe his loss and to tell us how he feels. Okay, that was Funeral Blues. We have come to the end of the poem. I'd like to acknowledge Slides Carnival on Google for all their free templates that are so beautiful and available freely for all types of PowerPoint use. That was Funeral Blues by W.H. Auden, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon.